One of the big shows that came out of this creative stage was Saturday Night Wrestling. This show, hosted by Shirley, lasted almost 2.5 decades. That's very good for an unsyndicated wrestling program.
Wrestling. That was the big one. That's the one that everybody enjoyed. That was everyone's Saturday night opera. And it gave audience participation. At Channel 4, in the early years of it, it was before a tape machine came along. It was all live. Everything was live, and this was held in the studios. And we would give away the tickets. You could write in wherever you lived in the Tri-County area, and you get up to 6 free tickets. It was on a first-come, first-served basis. Family would come over. They could watch the wrestling matches for free in the studios. And it got to be a very, very popular show.
WOAY had to play an announcement before each Saturday night wrestling broadcast stating that the show was prearranged. Shirley says that it kept them from having to pay the West Virginia Athletic Panel's fee for broadcasting a sports program. But this didn't keep the fans from getting very...
But now the audience was very much for real. There's no fake about the audience. And this made it a lot of fun because in the early years of the live wrestling, and I'm saying live, when you was talking to someone in the audience who had just got inflamed by one of the bad guys roughing up the eyes of one of the good guys, you never knew what they was going to say. You had to be quick on the trigger of disconnecting that microphone because they just came up with some pretty foul language at times. They'd forget where they were, and a lot of times it got on the air. I mean, it was funny, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny for an announcer. It was funny for the audience.
Shirley came onto the show as its color man after the first 2 weeks and stayed for its entire duration. One has to wonder, why?
Well, in this case, no one else wanted to do it. It was about 1954, and at that time, Bob Kent, who was manager of the Fayetteville Memorial Auditorium, they held wrestling matches in the auditorium, and Bob Kent, he did it a couple of weeks. He said, "Look, man, I can't do this." So the boss said, "Shirley, you'll do Saturday Night Wrestling." Well, I was like you. I was almost an intern. Some of the youngsters you have here at Votech, I'd do anything to even though I didn't know I couldn't do it. So I developed my own style. I didn't know arm lock from a flying mare to a flying veal or a Boston crab or whatever all his holes were, but made them up as I went along, and it worked pretty good. In fact, you have some of the footage in the early years of wrestling, and you know, we had everyone there from Argentine Rocca to Gorgeous George.